Family, what's going on with y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to y'all about seasons and staying in a season for too long when you're not meant to. Because I feel like a lot of times as believers, we'll go through a certain season of loss, a season of hardship and struggle, and we tend to stay in that season for too long, and it's longer than we're actually meant to. And a lot of times it could be because we allow the hardship, we allow the hard times and the struggle to beat us down. We allow what we may have lost, either financially, mentally, physically, or it could be the loss of a loved one, just any season that you're going through hard times. We allow that to get the best of us, and it's kind of human nature that a lot of us deal with. I'm a perfect case of this. Like, it's been so many times in my life, just recently in my walk, in the year and a half that I've been walking with Christ, where I've gone through loss. I've gone through seasons of change, seasons of hardship and struggle, and I've allowed those hard times to get the best of me. Like, I gave in to the thoughts of the enemy saying, oh, God doesn't love you. He's not going to restore everything. Oh, look at what you lost. You think you're going to get, we all go through those times, and I still go through it to this day. And it's because we give the enemy so much credit. We give the enemy so much real estate in our mind, allowing him to plant seeds of doubt and fear and rejection and everything. And it's no. And a lot of times we think that the reason why we experience the loss is because of the enemy. And a lot of times that's not the case, because God, God, he appoints a time. He appoints a time for that season. So you could be making all the money in the world. You could have a six-figure job. You could have maybe a business going on. You're probably making, millions of dollars a year. And, you may go through a year of financial loss. You may go through 2 years, 5 years, 10. I don't know. It may be however long God decides. Let's use Job for an example. He was living the top of the life. He wasn't sinning by any means. He was a holy and righteous man. He lived life according to how he should live life, how we all should live life. And he was a blameless man among God, in God's eyes. He had wealth. He had a great, happy, and loving family. And the devil came to God and was like, yo, you see Job, I bet if you take everything away from him, that he'll turn against you. And God was like, all right, let's put that to the test then. And as we know, God took everything from Job, his money, his family, his home, every single thing, allowed him to fall ill, and he just experienced so much loss. And Job did not waver in his faith. Of course, he started having the normal reaction, as many of us would, of why me? What did I do? Thinking that he did something wrong. In all actuality, it was just a season for that thing, for his loss, for his hardship, for his struggle. God didn't want him to go through that struggle for long. God didn't want him to, have to deal with this for too long. Because at the end, we know that he gave him back 10 times more than what he already had. So a lot of times we'll go through the same struggle as Job, or probably something even worse. And we'll stay in that season because we've gotten used to it. We've gotten comfortable. We've allowed the enemy to turn our minds and our hearts against God. So now we start questioning God. Now we start doubting God. And now we start believing the lies of the enemy. We start believing what the enemy has to tell us. We start believing the thoughts and everything the enemy planted within us. So we turn against God. And now we're in this season that we were only supposed to be in for about 2 years. Now we're in this season for 5 years. Now we're in the season that we've only supposed to have been in for 5 years. Now we're in it for 10 years. Like, we're prolonged seasons for absolutely no reason. We don't know why God allows us to go through hardship. Like, I definitely don't know why God allows me to struggle. I wish I didn't struggle. But as we know in the book of James and in the book of Hebrews, Paul says that, no, not Paul in the book of James, but yes, in the Bible, in the book of James and in the book of Hebrews, it talks about facing trials, and it specifically says, consider it pure joy when you go through times of suffering, because you know that your faith is being tested and you're building up your endurance, So again, I don't know why we struggle, but all I know is that when we do go through these times of struggle, these times of hardship, it's building our endurance. It's testing our faith. God is testing our faith to see if we actually believe in the words and the promises that he said that he has for us and the things that he spoke over our life, Like, God could tell you you're going to be helping people all over the world by, having a multi-figure, eight-figure business in like 3 years. But God will take away that 6-figure job that you may have, and you're like, man, how am I going to have a multi-figure business and I don't even have a job? I lost my 6-figure job. And it's, like, now you start searching for other things. You start trying to replace what you lost, when all you have to do is stay patient. All you have to do is stay calm and not panic, and trust that God is going to provide everything that you need for what he said. All you have to do is trust him, have faith. Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not into your own understanding. Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all other things shall be added to you. When you go through these hard times, the first thing that you should do is seek God, pray. Yes, I know the struggle is hard. I know it's like, it sucks. It sucks in all actuality to have to struggle, to have to go through hard times, to have to go through hardship. But the greatest thing you can do is not go talk to somebody. It's not go vent how you feel. It's not to start going to sin. No, it's going straight to God. Talk to God. God, why me? He has all the answers. He's going to say, I don't know what he's going to say, but I know in times where I've dealt with that, where I've asked God, why me? And it was, do you trust me? Do you love me? You have to trust me. I cannot take you where you want to go if I do not have your trust. I cannot take you where I have for you if you do not believe in me, if you do not have patience. Because a lot of times we lose patience and we start seeking our own things. We start seeking our own path. And it's like, no, you have to stay the course. You have to go through that season, because you don't know how long that season may last. And any little thing that you might do to get out of that season quicker can prolong you to stay in that season. Again, like I said, don't be like the Israelites. Don't turn an 11-day journey into a 40-year misery. Don't turn 11-day journey into 40 years of misery. Don't turn an 11-day journey into 40 years of misery. Don't stay in the wilderness for longer than you have to. Don't complain. Don't sit there. Don't cry. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. You have to trust and believe that the joy is coming. In the book of Romans, I think it's Romans 8, but it says the suffering that you're going through now cannot compare to the glory that you will have. It goes something along those lines. I'm just paraphrasing it, but it's something like that. Like, this suffering that you may be going through now, this season that you may be going through now, is nothing compared to the joy that you are going to experience. Not only when God takes you out of this season and puts you in a season of abundance and a season of prosperity, but also more importantly, which is greater than anything that you can have on this earth, is the joy that you are going to have in the kingdom of heaven, in the kingdom of God. So don't prolong your season. Stop trying to figure out ways to get out of your season. If you really want to figure out a way, seek God's will. see what God requires of you, what he wants from you. You know, like I always say, God is doing 99% of the work, and all we are required to do is the 1%. But a lot of times we think that 1% is the hardest thing in the world. In all actuality, the hardest parts are already taken care of because God is doing the heavy lifting. You know, if God needs you to go work that little job at McDonald's for 2 years, you better go work that job. If God tells you to leave that 6-figure job that you have, leave that 6-figure job. You know, yes, you're going to have to go through hardships when you're walking with Christ. You're going to have to go through these tough times. This walk is not easy. This walk is not easy. And if you're not ready for it, I'm going to be real. Don't come to Christ, because yes, you're going to have everlasting life. You're going to have everlasting joy. You're going to have peace and comfort, but it has its battles. It has its struggles. And just like anything else in life, if it comes easy, just best believe that it's not from God. Anything that comes easy in life is from the devil. God, and I think it's in the book of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken, but it says that God, he disciplines us as sons. He loves us so much that he's willing to discipline us as sons. You know, if you're not being disciplined, if God is not allowing you to go through hard times and struggle, then, you know, like, it's not from God. If it comes easy, it's not from God. Now, God can just give you everything that you want. He can just give you anything that you want. But again, you have to do the work. You have to go through those hard times. You have to go through those times where you truly trust God at every word he said, every word he has spoken. So don't prolong your season. Don't stay in the season longer than you have to. Don't, you know, like, if you have to, let the season run its course. Let the thing run its course. If you're going through hard times, let the hard times run its course. Because you already know at the end of those hard times, there's going to be peace. There's going to be comfort. There's going to be joy. There's going to be happiness. You know, like, I don't know why, again, I don't know why God allows us to go through these struggles. But from what I've learned from the word, it's because he's building our endurance. He's building our faith. He's testing us. So just go through the tests, go through the trials, allow God to test your faith and test your endurance, no matter how hard it may be. You know, if you need somebody to pray for you, you can hit me up. If you need, I don't know, just do something, but put God first in all of it. Put God in the middle of it. Let God know how you feel. Consult with God about anything that you may be going through. But your season is not here to last forever. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoy. Share this video with a friend, family, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. I'm out. It's time.